because of the Burns night last night. Today I've had a really busy day. I've done lots of things today. Finished off with going out with number one son for a wok buffet. And I am, of course, we're an hour ahead here, don't forget. So I'm ready to go to bed, to be honest. But I had said that I would do a live. I sort of hummed and hawed, should I do it or should I wait till tomorrow when I'm fresher? But the thing is, I've got so many things that I do want to tell you about over the next couple of days, you know, when we're looking over the Nicola Bulley case, because it's been a year. I thought if I don't do this live tonight and go through this video tonight, you know, how am I going to fit it all in? So that's so that I'm here. And we're going to look at the shots video, which was a video made a year on from the Nicola Bulley case. Anyway, we're going to look at that in a moment. I thought it'd be nice if we looked at it together. Somebody sent it me and then it's been popping up here, there and everywhere. And to be honest, I've been meaning to do this sort of look at it for a while, but just haven't had a chance for one reason or another. Mainly the Burns night, which I really enjoyed. But yeah, I think I'm still suffering from the whiskey. No whiskey tonight. It's cranberry tea and or you know, I know it's strictly speaking, date-wise, it's not a year because it was the 27th of January. But you know, to all intents and purposes, because it was a Friday, it is a year. No, nothing about that. I need your help, he says, to get re-elected and to continue what I have started. I will need your support. I don't think I've ever known a politician do this, do they? Not in our country, not in Britain. This is more like an American thing, surely. Anyway, if you would be so generous to back me with a donation, I would be incredibly grateful. You can donate here, and then there's a link to the Chorley Conservatives. Let's just have a look at that, actually. The campaign to re-elect Andrew Snowden as Lancashire's Police and Crime Commissioner. And you can, it made it very easy for you to donate £10, £25, £50, £75, £100 or £250 if you've just got a spare £250 sitting around. Why not donate to Mr. Snowden? Dear me. You know, this man is so far off the... oh, sorry, I haven't shared this tab. He's so far off the self-awareness scale. In my eyes, it's just incredible how far off the self-awareness scale he is. Maybe he's popular with some people. I don't know. Anyway, so going back to his tweet, I follow him on Twitter, and I shared his tweets with what I thought was a sarcastic, bit like what I'd put on the community post. You know, would you like to help Mr. Snowden with his re-election campaign? And shared his tweet, and he liked it. He obviously didn't realise the irony. You know. And some people have said, like, the annual salary for this post is £86,000, $700 a year, set by the Home Office. And he is asking for donations. The people he's asking for donations from, they won't be earning £86,700 a year. Someone, though, here has said, best of luck, Andrew. You and Andy have done a great job for Lancashire. That's probably his mate or his brother or something. Anyway, so I don't know. He liked it when I shared it anyway, so he obviously didn't realise the irony that I meant. But anyway, there you go. So he's campaigning hard. There'll be an election sometime this year, won't there? And I suppose this voting is done at the same time. And yeah, If you think he's done a great job, you can don't have to. Honestly, tell me if I'm wrong, but do politicians normally do that? I mean, individual politicians, obviously, like the Conservative Party or the Labour Party, or as a party, they do. Well, they ask for memberships, don't they? And they ask for people to join. But an individual politician seems quite odd to me. But there you go. So I just wanted to show you that first, in case you missed the community post, just when you thought he couldn't be any more of a twonk. And today, of all days, he could. Does he not realise that Nicola Bulley was important to a lot of people? That people get. Does he? He just doesn't get it, does he? He just doesn't get it. Anyway, so now I'm going to say hello to everybody before we start looking at this video. And there's loads of you here, so oh my God. Yeah, so I'm a bit later than I normally am because we were out quite a while at the restaurant. So I am a bit later. So I hope you all managed to stay awake. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Chumba. Hi, Amethyst. Oh, I'm sorry to hear you're not well, Amethyst. Get well soon. Get well soon. Hi, Tina. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Claire. Thank you for those lovely photos you sent me. Hi, Wendy Woo. Hi, Mello. Oh, Mello's catching up on another video. Oh, hopefully you'll get back onto this one. There'll be quite a lot of videos over the next couple of days. So, as I say, that's why I wanted to do this video in the end, even though really I was a bit tired, because otherwise I'm going to run out of time. Oh, Wendy, I'm sorry to hear about your mum. 93 years old, she's broke her hip. I'm sorry to hear about that. Hi, David. Oh, so Manchester City, Tina's telling me that Manchester City drew with Tottenham Hotspur. Hi, Ocean. I tried to send you a message earlier, Ocean, and something's gone funny with my messenger. Only to say thank you. David's already talking about thongs. I wore my tartan skirt to the buffet. I'm going to wear that tartan. I actually quite like it. I was thinking, when would I wear a tartan skirt? But it looks quite nice. Anyway, I think it looks quite nice. Hi, Desi. Now. Gosh, a lot of talk about knickers. Oh, dear. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Yvonne Payne. I think I've already said hello to Kelly, but hello again, Kelly, just in case I haven't. Hey, Trisha. Hi, yeah, glad you've caught alive at last. What? So, Desi said, there wasn't anything to hear, Desi, on the Twitter things. You can hear me, can't you? Hi, Charlie. You're suffering. Did you have a little bit too much whiskey? I have to say, I did sleep well, though. I slept right through. I never woke up once. I always wake up at least once in the night. I just fell asleep and that was it. Whiskey is very relaxing. Maybe I should have a nightcap before I get to bed, go to bed. Nice to you, Tricia, because I don't think you've been on a live at all yet, have you, since you joined? Kelly, what is he like? I cannot believe a politician's asking, someone who's earning £86,000 a year asking for donations. Dear me. Hi, Laurie. Yeah, it's a joke, but it's not funny, Chumby, you're right. Oh, even Desi's calling him a knob, and Desi's not Desi's normally very polite. Oh dear, he's even got Desi going. Hi, Nick. Hi, Ruth. Are you feeling a bit better today, Ruth? I hope. Hi, Maggie. Gosh, there's loads of you. Hi, Silver Soul. I know it's incredible that it's been a year, isn't it? A whole year. I said hello to Tracy, I think. Gosh, lots of you. So it's a good time. Either you, of course, it's an hour. Oh, Nick's got a bit of a cold as well. Everybody's poorly. Oh, it's not finished yet, Tina, the match, so it's still 0-0. Okay, you keep me posted. Hi, Ocean. Yeah, I've been trying to just send you a message to say thanks, and it won't. It just says, just comes up. This can't be done at this time. Try again later. But I don't know. You can hear me now, Desi. Good. Charlie Angel had 3 wee drams and then a hot toddy last night. Yeah. Ruth, I don't normally sleep like that, believe me. Sometimes I wake up 3 times in the night, depends. So all I can advise you is a bit of whiskey. You're having a night off, Tricia. Sometimes you have to have a night off. Hi, Ely. Oh dear. Oh, fish and chips for Charlie tonight. Yeah, always on a Friday, isn't it? Hi, Lisa. Right. I think I finally got down to the bottom of the hellos. I know you've all said hello to each other. I want to say hello to everybody who's watching at home. So I can see there's quite a lot of people watching. And, thank you for watching as well. And if you're not subscribed, maybe you'll consider subscribing. It's completely free. And I want to thank everyone who has subscribed, everyone who's liked my videos, watched my videos, become a member, sent me a super or bought me a coffee or any of those things. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm talking myself into having a whiskey now, talking about whiskey. David's getting really annoyed now as well. Everyone's getting annoyed about Andrew Snowden. Yeah, well, I did think about not doing this live, but how could I not do it? I could, when I say that I'm going to do a live, I don't like to not do it. But also, I wanted to go through this video. So I've had a quick look at it myself. It's bloody rubbish, to be honest. I mean, it's a rubbish video, but there's a few, it's like everything else, there's a few interesting things to be gleaned from it. So I don't know when this video was actually made. It seemed to come out again just after the College of Policing review. And now they're sort of rehashing it, if you like, for a year on from when she disappeared. It's quite strange, isn't it? They keep saying it's not a crime, it's not a crime. And then but they always talk about it as if it was a crime. And again, it's this sort of, everybody should leave it alone, respect to the family. And then the mainstream media, it doesn't apply to them that they can do whatever they like. But what they're doing is saying, we shouldn't be talking about it. It's all right for them to talk about it, of course, because, they're sort of better than everybody else. Anyway, So, yeah, I might have a little whisker. I might fall asleep on stream then, though. I've got a bit of cranberry. I'm going to have a bit of cranberry. Hi, the blind leading the blind. Okay. Oh, gosh, I've got water on one side, cranberry on another, and the end of a cup of tea. It's just liquids, all liquids. Let's have a look at this very strange documentary. Or the program itself is only 23 minutes long, so it's not very long. But as I said, I don't think it's very good. And you know, obviously we know the story of Nicola. Most of us know the story of what happened that day so well because we've seen so many videos about it. But of course, there's a lot of things that we forget, you know, with time. But it just seems, well, we'll see. You'll tell me what you think. Very strange video, in my opinion. So 1 year on, the disappearance of Nicola Bulley. We take a look back at the events surrounding the mystery that unfolded in January 2023.
Ago in Lancashire has made an emotional plea for people to come forward.
Now, I'm just going to put it to the beginning. There you go.
Let's get more on the very worrying story of Nicola Bulley. The 45-year-old mother of two was last seen walking her dog next to the River Wyre.
You can expect another day of intense police activity here in the village.
We'll be concentrating on the River Wyre, when the search teams return.
Footage of Nicola Bulley on the day of her disappearance has been shared by her friends. Video shows Nicola loading her car for the school run.
Of course, a lot of concern in this area this morning as we are entering the fifth
Family
day.
of 45-year-old Nicola Bulley, who disappeared a week ago in Lancashire, has made an emotional plea for people to come forward with information.
It's quiet today on the banks of the River Wyre at St Michael's here in Lancashire, but on January...
So this is Nicola Adam, the publishing editor, and she seems to be taking the lead. I'm not sure when it was filmed, you know, looking at that weather. There's still quite a lot of foliage, but she's got her bobble hat, this requisite bobble hat that everybody seems to wear with a big pom-pom on the top. It's almost like a uniform, isn't it? But yeah, I think this is not recent. So let's presume that this was filmed end of October, beginning of November.
The 27th, 2023, Nicola Bulley, a caring and much-loved mum of two who worked as a financial advisor, went missing after the school run, leaving her phone on a riverside bench and her pet dog running loose. She appeared to have vanished into thin air. The investigation that was to follow put her family, friends and residents of this small village at the centre of a massive police investigation and at the mercy of an unprecedented media storm.
Sorry, I just want to say that awful road there. I don't know any of you who've ever been there. That road, the cars. This is why I find it hard to believe that there was only that. Well, if there was that dash cam from people say it was a policeman, but you know, it's never been confirmed, has it? We've never seen the one piece of dash cam that was supposed to be captured of Nicola in the car. But any time, you know, that I've seen any video from that road, the cars are whizzing past, aren't they? There's loads of them. It's a very, very a road with a lot of traffic. So it's quite strange, in my opinion, that there wasn't any more webcam footage. Dash cam, not webcam. Dash cam footage.
Let's get more on the very worrying story of Nicola Bulley. The 45-year-old mother of two was last seen walking her dog next to the River Wyre.
Now, what you're saying, the very worrying story of Nicola Bulley, and of course it was, but But, you know, people do go missing every day. So again, another question is always going to be, why was this case such high profile? Why out of all the missing people cases, this one we're still talking about a year later? It's unheard of, isn't it?
Wire in St Michael's on Wye in Lancashire 9 days ago. Her phone was found on a bench nearby the river and her dog was discovered in a nearby park. But there have been no sightings of her since. Police believe she may have fallen into the river.
Nicola's routine most morning, it was, according to her family, a walk that she had taken 1,000 times. But crucially, there is a window of less than half an hour. That is the time when Nicola was last spotted.
45-year-old Nicola's face was splashed across the world as the mystery of her disappearance gripped not just us, the local media, but national and international press. Social media was in a frenzy, and every development fueled a dark fascination that spilled into St Michael's itself.
Now, can I just say that she was standing in a funny place there. Normally they do the interviews at the bench, don't they? Which wonder why she was standing at that particular spot. But anyway. Oh, poor Peter Lawson, of course. Peter Lawson is no longer with us. It was Peter who died mysteriously at home at the age of 50, and it was just declared no suspicious circumstances, but it has never been said what he died of. You know, like, why don't they say, oh, he died of a heart attack, or he died of this, or he died of it? They've never said that. They just said no suspicious circumstances. That again was a strange thing. Why not just say what he died of? Now, I have to say, when you see the reporters from this side like that all around them, and you know, we now know that Rebecca didn't want to do that press conference. It wasn't really her job to do it. It was Pauline Stable's job to do it. She was uncomfortable doing it. We know that from the College of Policing review, and they're looking at that, all those people round. I mean, it wouldn't be very nice, would it? All those cameras on you and that. And then, of course, everybody was slating her for her appearance, you know, as if she should, you know, she shouldn't have worn the dress, or she shouldn't have straightened her hair. I don't know what they thought she should have done, just be interviewed in a bin bag or something. But, you know, she's not a uniformed officer, so she wasn't going to be wearing a uniform. And Peter there is sort of looking at her like, he doesn't look very well, bless him, does he? I think he was suffering from a lot of stress, to be honest.
Tragedy became content, and an under-pressure police force found itself under the microscope, with its methods and its decisions questioned at every turn. Now, as the results of an inquiry into the investigation are released, we look back at the tragedy which sparked.
Do you see what I'm saying? What's she standing there for? She could fall in the river. She looks like she's too close to the river there, but very strange place to be standing, but
a controversy.
So we're appealing for witnesses to come forward who may have been driving through St Michael's on Wye at around 9:15 last Friday morning, 27th of January.
So remember these interviews right from the beginning. Sally Riley started off saying the dog had been found a mile away, and then it turned out, you know, she started off all the inconsistencies, I think. And also she was asked directly if there was anything that, you know, in Nicola's history that might lead to her going missing, and she said no, there wasn't. And then it turned out that yes, in fact there was. So all these things sort of created this climate of suspicion towards the police, didn't it? The inconsistencies and the not cordoning off the crime scene, if it was a crime scene, and you know, everything. There wasn't much that they didn't do wrong, was there?
If they have dash cam footage from around 9:15, please contact 101 and let us know. Likewise, this is an area popular with dog walkers and other people enjoying the lovely countryside. If they can also report any sightings that they had of Nicola.
Here we go. This is my dreaded thing. As soon as they start talking about the timelines, I sort of, just shrink inside. It's like, here we go. Here's a timeline that somebody will pull to pieces.
On Friday, January the 27th, Nicola left home at 8:27 a.m. with her children, dropping them off at school at 8:40 a.m., having a brief conversation with another parent.
Now, just to say, we don't know for certain that she left with her children, because we saw the car being loaded up, but we didn't see the car being driven away with just Nicola and the children in it. That's another thing, isn't it? That's another thing that causes suspicion, because we never saw her actually drive away, just her and the children, and Paul go back into the house. Why? Just doesn't make sense. And then this thing about the school, Emma said, didn't she, in one of her interviews, she saw her and waved at her and they went on their busy routines of the day. And then somebody else said they saw her and spoke to her, but no CCTV of Nicola at the school that day. Is there no CCTV outside the school?
At 8:43 a.m, Nicola walked along the path by the river wire at St Michael's towards the gate and bench into the lower field. At 8:50 a.m, approximately, a dog walker who knows Nicola saw her walking along the lower field with her dog. The two dogs interacted briefly before the witness left the field via the river path. At 8:53...
So it's the dogs that interacted briefly. So that person did not speak to Nicola, did they? And didn't they see her on the lower field and they were on the upper field? I don't know. I'm going to look at the timeline tomorrow. So I'm not, I don't know the ins and outs of the timeline to go through it over here on here. Probably some of you do better than me, but tomorrow I will be looking at it.
3 a.m, Nicola sent an email to her boss. At 8:59 a.m, she sent a message to a friend. And at 9:01 a.m, she logged into a Microsoft Teams call. At 9:10 a.m, a witness who knows Nicola saw her on the upper field walking her dog. At 9:20 a.m, the phone was in the area of the bench. At 9:30 a.m, the call ended, but Nicola stayed logged on.
So they always say that, don't they? The phone was in the area of the bench. Just the way that they say that is weird. The phone moved or found its way to the area near the bench, or the phone moved to the bench. They say it in quite a sort of cloaked language, don't they? They don't say the phone was on the bench or Nicola put the phone on the bench. It's the way they say it is sort of always a bit mysterious. And the other thing we don't know is what was the email that she sent to her boss. What was the email? What was the content of the email? Her boss, we don't know a lot about her boss.
At 9:35 a.m. approximately, Nicola's mobile phone and Willow the dog were found at a bench near the river by another dog walker. Willow's harness was found nearby, but Nicola had vanished. Nicola went missing on the morning of Friday, January 27th, prompting Lancashire Police to issue a missing person appeal to press and via social media. It included a picture and description of Nicola and cited her additional links to Thornton Cleveleys. On Saturday, January the 28th, North West Police underwater search teams were pictured in St Michael's on the River Wire. Over the weekend, searches were carried out by Lancashire Police using drones and police dogs with support from Lancashire Fire and Rescue Service and Bowland Pennine Rescue Team. By the Sunday, organised teams of residents with maps searched the area in groups to hunt for any clues or signs of the missing mum.
So this is what Emma organised, I believe, wasn't it? Organised all the locals, told them where to search.
Police later described them as turning out in their droves to help. On Monday, January the 30th, an invitation is issued to a press conference at 12:30 p.m. at the Village Hall, where police renewed their appeal for public help to find Nicola, saying they were increasingly concerned for her safety. Superintendent Sally Riley of Lancashire Police said, "We are not treating the investigation as anything but a missing person inquiry. These are unusual events and people should be reassured we are doing everything we can to find her." An appeal was made for dashcam footage from St Michael's at around 9:50.
There's that road again. I mean, it's so busy. It's always so busy every time I've ever seen it. And when I was there, it wasn't rush hour and it was busy. it's always busy. So why is there no more dash cam?
10 a.m. on January the 27th, in case any drivers had seen Nicola start her walk across the road bridge. Walkers were urged to come forward if they had seen her walk along the towpath from the village on Garstang Road. Police confirmed they had searched an extensive area, describing the search as thorough. On Tuesday, January the 31st, our photographer captures images of water rescue teams searching the river and police and volunteers combing nearby countryside areas. On Wednesday, February the 1st, drone images capture the extent of the search from above. By Wednesday, Nicola's parents and sister make an emotional appeal in the media in the hope it will help find her.
It's hard.
Now, I honestly feel when I see Ernie talking, he is genuinely, you can tell a difference between someone who is genuinely distressed and somebody who maybe isn't. This does break my heart, this a little bit.
It's hard. We're such a close-knit family. We are a close-knit family, I'm sorry. But we're such a close-knit family. We do anything for any one of us, and the children would do the same for us.
On Friday, February the 2nd, a sighting in Schiphol, 10 kilometres downriver from St Michael's, sparks a police water and embankment search by crime scene investigators.
Now, this is always made a big thing of by a lot of people, isn't it? This Schiphol search, they went in all, with bags and all togged up like this crime scene investigation. It says it there, but nothing was. She just dismisses it then, says, but nothing was found. But they've never told us what instigated the search. They don't just turn up somewhere and do that for no reason. What actually prompted all that? If they didn't find anything, fair enough, they didn't find anything. I mean, they've taken away quite a bit of stuff by the look of it, but why haven't they actually said what prompted that?
But nothing is found, and it is called off after a few hours. By Sunday, the first images of the mother of two on the day she went.
Now, this is the infamous CCTV, isn't it? And again, I'm not an expert on CCTV, so I don't know. People have said it was faked. Some parts of it were faked. Of course, it was sent to a true crime channel. That is, to me, just suggests, why would you do that? Why would you send, when your partner is missing, or, why would you send it to a true crime channel? Or was this originally put on the Lancashire Police website and then it disappeared? And I think the only thing that does, it does strike me that the hair on both these two are different. They look different. But I don't know enough about CCTV, you see, to make a comment on that. But I would say this hair could well be different from this hair but I don't know. Surely the police have looked at that. What do you think?
Missing are shared by a friend to the media. Doorbell footage shows Nicola loading her car before driving her children to school, wearing a long dark coat, leggings and ankle boots. Monday the 6th of February sees the arrival of Private Water Search Team Specialist Group International, or SGI, headed up by Peter Faulding.
Here comes Super Sonar. Sorry, shouldn't laugh. Here he comes. It does. He's starting to, now every time I see him I want to laugh, and that's not right, I know, but there's something interesting comes out here in a minute.
Faulding to help the police. The specialist unit used sonar to search the riverbed close to the bench where Nicola's phone was found and above the weir.
It's going well. We're trying to rule out this section of the river completely.
Whenever I see Peter being interviewed now, you do get a little bit of something different, don't you? Because he says so many different things. But there is a little interesting nugget here.
working closely with the police, and obviously the hot spot is where the phone was found. That was a thorough police diving operation was carried out the same day that Nicola went in. They couldn't find anything there, but we're just doing the lower part of the river here. We've got a couple of tree obstacles in the way, which we've seen, what needs to be checked, and then.
So he did say that we've got a couple of tree obstacles in the way, which need to be checked. That's the first time I've ever heard him say that, there was anything. On every other interview, he said definitely not, nothing.
Closely with the police, and obviously the hot spot is where the phone was found. That was a thorough police diving operation was carried out the same day that Nicola went in. They couldn't find anything there, but we're just doing the lower part of the river here. We've got a couple of tree obstacles in the way, which we've seen, what needs to be checked, and then we're going up the river again, right the way round to up around the top field. So we ruled out every possibility.
We ruled out every possibility. Now, I'm not sure what day this interview was done. So whether this was done on the first day that he was there, because it was the second day that he was there that he claims to have found her, isn't it? But that's the first time I've ever heard him say anything about anything, about any obstacles. And he did say there was a couple of tree obstacles that had to be ruled out.
Tell you that Nicola was in the river.
Everything is leading us to the river at the moment, and if we don't find her in the next couple of days in this section of the river, then I will be totally baffled.
You mentioned you think there could well be a third party involved.
Well, if Nicola's not in the river, then something else is happening somewhere, but I can't, that's down to the detective, the police to look.
Yeah, he's got that facetious look again that he did on the earlier video that we were looking at, the smiling and it's like he knows something that nobody else does. But yeah.
Look at that. That's
And you've had conversations with Paul, Nicola's partner?
Yeah, I spoke to Paul last night, a long conversation with Paul. We were just chatting. I'm just keeping the family updated, really, which is really important at this time. They're going through a very, very difficult time at the moment. So they need to get information. And obviously they're hanging at the moment on a thread and not knowing what's going on. So I'm just trying to keep them informed.
And at what stage are you going to say, she's not here?
In this section of river, over the next couple of days, I can sort of say that, she's not in this part of the river.
On Tuesday, February the 7th, police.
So that was what Peter Faulding had to say as far as this interview or this documentary or whatever you want to call it, this video is concerned. Now, notice they don't say anything. There's no mention at all. Although I think this video was probably done after Peter dropped his bombshell, but it's not mentioned at all in this video.
Stage a second press conference where they re-establish their position that Nicola is missing and there is no third-party involvement.
Good afternoon and thank you for coming. I'm Superintendent Sally Riley. I'm the Operations Manager for Lancaster, Morecambe and Wyre. It's been a week now since Nicola Bulley from Inskip in the local area went missing. Her family, particularly her partner, her children, her parents and her sister are in real agony while she remains missing. And I want to pay particular tribute for their patience and dignity and strength at this time. In the last 7 days since Nicola went missing, a week ago today, the police have done a number of enquiries to try and find Nicola and to bring her home to her family. In particular, the search is focused on the riverbank and the River Wyre here in St Michael's. An unprecedented number of search resources have been searching the river and the bank. This includes drone, a helicopter, police divers, sonar equipment, pole cameras, underwater drone, and staff wading the shallower parts of the river. Unfortunately, we have not still found Nicola, but our search does continue.
So
our main working hypothesis, therefore.
So it was striking, wasn't it? All those things, all those. What it really? Let's listen to that again.
The helicopter. 7 days since Nicola went missing, a week ago today, the police have done a number of enquiries to try and find Nicola and to bring her home to her family. In particular, the search is focused on the riverbank and the river wire here in St Michael's. An unprecedented number of search resources have been searching the river and the bank. This includes drone, the helicopter, police divers, sonar equipment, pole cameras, underwater drone, and staff wading the shallower parts of the river. Unfortunately, we have not still found Nicola, but our search does.
Yeah, all those people searching, all those. Why? You know, in one way you could think, why? You know, why were all those people? You know, if this is like an ordinary case, if you like, not an extraordinary case, just a question of someone who's accidentally fallen into the river, why were there so many people? What's the word I'm looking for? You know, so many agencies called out. Why the extremity of it? I suppose it's because at the time they did know what we didn't know, because don't forget, we didn't know still then. Maybe that, well, no, not when Sally was talking, we definitely didn't know that, you know, Nicola had these vulnerabilities. So those vulnerabilities, I suppose, were the reason why all those agencies were sent out to look for us so quickly. Just seems, it's just as they keep telling us not to speculate, but why was it the whole thing treated differently to all other cases, you know? So how it makes it impossible not to speculate.
Continue. Our main working hypothesis, therefore, is that Nicola has sadly fallen into the river, that there is no third party or criminal involvement, and that this is not suspicious, but a tragic case of a missing person.
On Wednesday, February the 2nd, Peter Faulding and SGI end the river search. They have found nothing. On Friday, February the 10th, marking 2 weeks since Nicola went missing, police issued a statement.
Now, did you hear what she said there? She said Peter Faulding and SGI end the search. So he ended the search. I think he more or less said that, didn't he? But he said recently in the question and answer session that he ended the search because he felt like he wasn't welcome. But he was planning, wasn't he, on return? This is another contradiction, because wasn't he planning on returning? On the video we watched earlier today, he said he was planning on returning in a low-key way to help the family search around the area. So he ended the sonar search, and she just said he found nothing. So is this just, are they just trying to, you know, make it clear that Peter didn't find anything? Surely by now, by the time they made this video, they would have known about Peter's bombshell. I don't, you know what I mean? It's all so confusing because we don't know. It's not transparent, any of it.
And confirming specialist underwater search teams, drones, mounted police and the helicopter would be out combing the river wire and into the sea. They said they still thought Nicola had fallen in the river, but would continue to investigate all leads, including CCTV and dashcam. The statement said it was still confirmed nothing untoward had happened to her and condemned unfair speculation. During a press conference on Wednesday, February the 15th, Police say they visited 300 premises, spoken to 300 people, and identified 700 vehicles which drove through the village on the morning Nicola disappeared. They've also received 50 pieces of dashcam footage and 1,500 pieces of information.
So they said they'd received 500 dashcam footages, but not one of Nicola, or maybe there was that one police one that we've never seen, and 1,500 pieces of information. Now we can see, when you see these drone footage or helicopter footage, you can see how this river twists and turns. And even Peter said in that one of those interviews that we were watching earlier today, which, you know, I said, has Peter got amnesia? Because you think, has he forgotten he said all these things? He felt that she definitely couldn't have gone over the weir because there were things that would snag her and this, that and the other, you know. You can see that it's quite a difficult nothing's impossible with the river. I just want to say that I know that people have sent me emails talking about their own loved ones that took weeks to find, or, you know, ages and ages to find them. But I don't think necessarily they were this sort of river, because there's all different kinds of river, isn't it? This particular river, with all its twists and turns, and the fact that it's got, you know, very shallow parts and it doesn't move very quickly, etc. It's different from some other rivers, isn't it? That looks so sinister, that the river at night, to me. And the other thing I think is, why did nobody see Nicola as she floated, you know, until that 23 days later when she was finally seen? So she floated all that way at some point, but nobody saw her. But there's a lot of people go, you know, it's not a river that's never frequented. Fishermen go, dog walkers, lots of people walk along that river. But she was never ever seen floating along for 23 days. So she just must have floated at night when there was nobody there. Really gives me the creeps, actually, to think of that. I don't believe it, but, you know, that's how it would have had to have happened. That 23 days she floated quite a long way. She was found quite a long way from the bench area where she's believed to have gone in, but nobody ever saw her.
This wooden bench was placed so walkers can enjoy lovely views across the bend in the River Wyre upstream of a small weir. But it became a focus in the search for Nicola as days stretched into weeks. As it was here her phone was found, still logged into a Microsoft Teams call for work. The bench itself is situated at the top of a steep bank down into the Wyre. The sign hammered into the tree behind it warns of deep water. In the week that followed, the quiet area became a hive of activity as police scoured every inch, bringing in Bowland and Pennine Mountain Rescue and specialist search teams, helicopters, divers with underwater drones and scanning equipment. Local residents, desperate to help one of their own, set up highly organised searches sharing maps of local trails and urging volunteers to put their own safety first. In the first heart-rending press appeal, Nicola's family talked about being stuck in a nightmare. Her parents say she just vanished into thin air. Her dad, Ernie Bulley, said, "This has emptied our lives. We're such a close-knit family. We'd do anything for any one of us. I really hope she comes home." Nicola's sister, Louise Cunningham, said, "I'm just stuck in a nightmare going round in circles. People just don't vanish into thin air." Nicola's partner, Paul Ansell, said he was in perpetual hell as the search went on. Meanwhile, the country...
Sorry, I just want to go back to... So this was Emma, wasn't it? Let's just watch this.
One of their own, set up highly organised searches sharing maps of local trails and urging volunteers to put their own safety first. In the first heart-rending press appeal, Nicola's family talked about being stuck in a nightmare. Her parents say she just vanished into thin air. Her dad, Ernie Bulley, said, This has emptied our lives. We're such a close-knit family.
The voiceover is awful, isn't it? It's awful. It's like, I don't know. It's just, this is supposed to be a professional video. This is more like one of my videos.
We'd do anything for any one of us. I really hope she comes home. Nicola's sister, Louise Cunningham, said, I'm just...
Right, so here, this was in the car park, and this is Emma. And this was that very weird, the only interview that she did where she had this cap on pulled right down over her face. It was almost like she didn't want to be recognised. It was quite strange because every interview after that she had her lashes on, didn't she? And, she was impeccably made up. But this one, she wasn't. And it was a real surprise, that interview. When I watched that interview, it was a real surprise to me because she just looked nothing like she had on all the other interviews.
Just stuck in a nightmare going round in circles. People just don't vanish into thin air. Nicola's partner, Paul Ansell, said he was in perpetual hell as the search went on. Meanwhile, the country and world's media descended into an already tense situation in Lancashire. As speculation became rife, largely on social media, police remained adamant.
See how she got that little dig in? Speculation became rife, largely on social media. Not us. I mean, it was in the Lancashire Post day in, day out. It was rammed on any mainstream media that you turned on. They were talking about Nicola Bulley, but she stuck that in there. Well, especially on social media. Honest to God, it's just awful the way the mainstream media dealt with this.
It remained a missing persons inquiry and there was no third party or criminal involvement. During a press conference a week after Nicola vanished, police reiterated this message, stating they had no evidence of foul play, but said they were keeping an open mind about what happened. But they said their working hypothesis was that she'd fallen into the River Wyre. But the rumblings of discontent had begun at the line the investigation was taking, and it became a bone of contention from Nicola's family and friends. It is her sister, Louisa, who 1 week in starts to question the police stance, urging people to keep that open mind and describing the concept she had fallen into the river as simply a working theory. In a Facebook post, she said,
Right, gosh, she's just talking so quick, that woman. But there's a couple of things I just wanted to pick up on there. So somebody mentioned, and I think it's very true, you can see in this
close-knit family, we'd do anything for any one of us. I really hope she comes home. Nicola's sister, Louise Cunningham, said, I'm just stuck in a...
Now, I don't know why she said, Louise's sister, Nicola's sister Louise, and then flashed to these pictures of Emma in the car park. But you can see, and I don't like to, I'm not saying she's got fat legs or anything, but Nicola's legs were a completely different shape to Emma's legs. So when we will look at the CCTV sometime over the weekend. They are a completely different shape to Nicola's. So if you could see the legs, you would know the difference. You would know the difference between her legs and Nicola's legs.
A nightmare going round in circles. People just don't vanish into thin air. Nicola's partner, Paul Ansell, said he was in perpetual hell as the search went on. Meanwhile, the country and world's media descended into an already tense situation in Lancashire. As speculation became rife, largely on social media, police remained adamant it remained a missing persons inquiry and there was no third party or criminal involvement. During a press conference a week after Nicola vanished, police reiterated this message, stating they had no evidence of foul play, but said they were keeping an open mind about what happened. But they said their working hypothesis was that she'd fallen into the River Wyre. But the rumblings of discontent had begun at the line the investigation was taking, and it became a bone of contention from Nicola's family and friends. It is her sister, Louisa, who won.
Yeah. It's a difficult one with Louise, I think. But because she sort of made that laugh, didn't she? But people do laugh when they're nervous sometimes. But yeah, it was a funny thing with Louise. maybe it's just like genuine disbelief, you know, that just can't believe they're in that situation. I don't know. What do you all think?
Week in starts to question the police stance, urging people to keep that open mind and describing the concept she had fallen into the river as simply a working theory. In a Facebook post, she said, "Off the back of the latest media update, can I add there's no evidence whatsoever she fell in the river. Not all CCTV and leads have been investigated fully. The police have confirmed the case is far from over." And friend,
I just want to go back just like this. I think, how would you fall down there? You know, seriously, you'd have to be stood right on the edge. Why would she have been stood right on the edge? And they don't seem to have any problems going in and coming out. You know, it's like, you know, and to be honest, Nicola looked a lot fitter than these guys that are going in and coming out. It's like when you're there, you see, it is a slope, but it's a gradual slope, and then it suddenly goes off. But yeah, maybe if she was there right at the edge. But why would she have been right at the edge? I just don't believe it. I honestly do not believe it.
This media update, can I add there's no evidence whatsoever she fell in the river. Not all CCTV and leads have been investigated fully. The police have confirmed the case is far from over. And friend Emma White told Sky News, "We are talking about a life. We can't base it on a hypothesis. Surely we need factual evidence. We still have no evidence, and that's why we're out here together in force. You don't base life on a hypothesis."
Yeah, they seemed to go in and out of there. I know they were helping each other, but they had equipment as well. PC Thackeray, he went in there pretty easy. You know, and honestly, I've been there now. You can see that is a gradual slope. It's not a steep slope. You'd have to stand right on the edge to fall in that water. And Nicola, there's no reason to think Nicola ever went anywhere near the edge.
It was February the 19th, more than 3 weeks after Nicola vanished, and a dark and windy day like this one, when a body was spotted amongst reeds and undergrowth by a man and a woman walking along the riverbank.
Yeah, and she gets that wrong as well. She was not spotted in the reeds. Jason, you know, whatever you think about Jason, and he is a bit of a crackpot, isn't he? But you know, he's a psychic. Psychics are a bit eccentric, you know, and who knows? But anyway, what Jason said, and of course, he wasn't called to the inquest either. And, you know, a bit strange since it was him who actually, you know, reported the finding the body to the police. But there you go. But he said he saw her floating down the river and then she settled in the reeds. He did not find her in the reeds. And I think it is an important difference. Because then Peter Faulding was saying, oh, well, our sonar can't reach the reeds. She wasn't in the reeds. She settled in the reeds after Jason saw her come floating down the river, apparently.
It was February the 19th, more than 3 weeks after Nicola vanished, and a dark and windy day like this one, when a body was spotted amongst reeds and undergrowth by a man and a woman walking along the riverbank.
She's almost robotic, this woman, isn't she? You know, it's like she's very boring to listen to. Sorry, I shouldn't say that, really.
Police arrived at the scene around a mile downstream of St Michael's quickly, and later it was confirmed to be the body of missing Nicola.
Yeah, what was this final scream? Missing Nicola, body found. Final scream, the headline in the Lancashire Post. Witness tells inquest of the moment Nicola Bulley went missing. Oh, and they're accusing TikTok girls and social media of, you know, ridiculous headlines. The screams were dismissed as nothing to do with Nicola. You know, whether you believe that or not, I'm not. But I'm saying what the inquest, what the coroner decided, and what the family's solicitor said. The screams were nothing to do with it. The man in black was nothing to do with it. You know, and now here's Lancashire Post saying final scream. Witness tells inquest of the moment Nicky Bulley went missing. You know, dramatising it. When it was, I thought, decided at the inquest the screams were nothing to do with it. I'm not saying I think the screams were nothing to do with it. I'm just saying what was decided at the inquest, in contrast to what the Lancashire Post is saying.
On the 8th of March, she was laid to rest quietly and privately in St Michael's by her family, away from the cacophony of attention which her disappearance created. So
now listen to this. This is interesting. Well, there's a couple of interesting things here. I'm not quite sure why she was buried in St Michael's, because of course she didn't live in St Michael's. That was just where she was walking her dog that day. Her parents don't live in St Michael's. I don't know who decides where you get buried or not, you know, what decides it. But anyway, so she's buried in the cemetery at St Michael's Church. But listen to this.
So fearful were her family of intrusion, police requested a no-fly zone to prevent any drone filming, a request implemented by the Secretary of State for Transport.
So they requested a no-fly zone, and it was authorised by the Secretary of State for Transport. It's a big thing. Do you think if, like, you know, when it comes to the day when I pass from this world and my son makes a request for a no-fly zone over the funeral, do you think that will be granted? It's quite extreme, that, isn't it? I mean, I know there was all this interest, and I'm glad that the family were allowed to bury her privately. I honestly am glad. Just strikes me that not everybody would have made that request and been granted it, that's all. So I'm just, you know, it just shows the enormity of this case. So everybody keeps saying, oh, well, the case is finished. You know, we've had the inquest and this, that, and the other. It's finished. It's done. So why is everybody still talking about it? And why was it so important that the Secretary of State for Transport allowed a no-fly zone over the funeral? I mean, does that ever happen? You know, so obviously is more to this case than they're telling us there is.
In June, an inquest was held into Nicola's death at County Hall in nearby Preston. During a 2-day hearing, Nicola's last moments were played out, even her last text arranging a play date for her daughter. She had replied with a smiley face emoji the morning she vanished. The court heard it was believed she had somehow fallen down the steep banking into freezing water of the river and died, with experts confirming her death would have been almost instantaneous and certainly within 30 seconds of her falling in the water.
Within 30 seconds of her falling in the water that you could stand up in. Ridiculous.
Coroner James Aidley confirmed the cause of Nicola's death was accidental, and Home Office pathologist Dr. Alison Armour confirmed no third-party involvement.
Hello, Adam Lord here at the end of the first day of Nicola Bulley's inquest at County Hall in Preston. Now, obviously, the mother of two's disappearance back in January garnered unprecedented media, public and social media, of course, scrutiny. So there are plenty of eyes on the city of Preston today as on the first of 2 days of this hearing.
The coroner will attempt to separate.
Remember when they were, saying that they were frightened to death that it was going to get swamped by people and this, that and the other? There's nobody there. It was really quiet. It was really quiet. And I think only 25 or something of the seats that were allocated for the public were actually taken. So, it was just, again, a big hype. They had security there and this, that and the other. And look, nobody there.
Separate the fact from the fiction, and the inquest into the tragic death of Nicola Bulley opens in Preston at County Hall today. Over the next 2 days, Lancashire's senior coroner, Dr. James Aidley, will try to...
He's another grifter, another smarmy, just in it for the money type person. He doesn't care about Nicola. He doesn't care about, well, I know from another case of a parent of somebody who died, who she says he treated her terribly. He's not a nice person, this guy.
To unravel the truth from the tangled mass of rumour and speculation which has surrounded the case. He will hope to establish exactly what happened to Nicola on that cold Friday morning, how she came to be in the water, and why it took so long for specialist teams to find her body.
But there's a lot of water going over it, even though the water is now down from where it was on the day. It comfortably pushed me over, float over the top.
Oh, this was PC Plod, wasn't it? Wading up the, pushing himself over the weir, trying to show that how he's, he's not even anything like Nicola's body shape, weight, whatever. Why was he using himself as an example? He's a big guy. Anyway, but he had to propel himself over it. He had problems getting over it.
And straight into the faster flowing water at the bottom. It's not powerful enough. There's not a big enough drop on the other side to stop you. Again, we did search the other side of that weir to make sure there was nothing trapped in it.
This hearing obviously is designed more than anything, hopefully, to give her family and her loved ones some closure and some answers, with so many other interested parties involved as well. But mainly the focus is on them and getting what they want out of these 2 days. There are even police patrolling the streets of Preston around County Hall today, and we've seen people try and come in to view proceedings today quite innocently, to be quickly told that there is no access unless you have booked your place in advance and been vetted. As a reminder, this morning we heard from...
That's not true. You didn't have to be vetted. You applied for a place. I had a place. I applied for a place. I was awarded a place. But I didn't go because it was just, one, because people would know me because of YouTube. People would recognize me. And two, it was just, to just go for those 2 days from Spain. But I was given a place. I still have the email. You know, you didn't have to be vetted. You applied for a place and you either got a place or you didn't. And I think they just gave them to the first, I don't know, number of people that applied. You know, I don't know if any of you remember that are on here now, but at the time I showed, I did a video on how you could apply for a place, and some of my chatters, they applied for a place and they got a place and they let me know sort of what happened at the inquest. But I actually got a place, but I didn't go. So it's not true that you had to be vetted. There were no questions asked. You didn't have to say why you wanted to go. You know, you didn't have to prove you were somebody who knew the family or knew Nicola or whatever. You just literally had to apply and you got your place. I don't know how they decided who got a place. I mean, I applied from my sister's address, which is in Lancashire, so maybe it's because maybe you had to be in the area. But it wasn't, you weren't vetted. That's a load of rubbish.
Dr. Alison Armour, the pathologist involved in the case, who revealed that Nicola's official cause of death was drowning. She insisted on multiple occasions when pressed by Dr. Adelaide that there was no third-party involvement in this as far as her evidence was concerned, and Nicola had no alcohol in her system at all at the time of going into the water, but that when she went into the water, she was alive. We also heard from PC Matthew Thackeray, Professor Michael Tipton, and Dr. Patrick Morgan, who all principally discussed the impact of cold water shock on the body. Now, back in January on the River Wyre, the water was estimated to be about 3.6 degrees at the time, which would feel more like freezing, and the body could quickly go into shock and seize up. But the deepest part of the River Wyre, estimated as around 4.6 metres. Now, Nicola was about 154 centimetres tall, according to what we were told in court today. The experts are saying that Nicola could have been conscious for as little as 48 seconds, maybe even less. And in a matter of seconds, she could have gulped, she could have breathed in enough water to sadly, very sadly, begin that the drowning process.
You know, it is all speculation, this, though, as well. I remember that from the inquest. When the experts were talking, God, is that Mark Williams Thomas in the background there? Because he was there. Well, he was there on the first day, he wasn't there on the second day, apparently. I've forgotten what I was saying now. I got myself distracted. Yeah, I got myself distracted. Sorry.
Nicola Bulley's devastated family will give evidence when the inquest into her tragic death resumes at County Hall, Preston today. Partner Paul Ansell and Nicola's sister Louise.
Oh, I remember what I was saying. I was saying that even though they're experts in their field, but they were speculating. It was like, well, if she fell in the water, well, this might have happened or that might have happened. They don't know what's happened. Nobody knows what's happened. So it might be expert speculation, but it's still speculation all the same. You know, see this picture, you can see the difference in size between them, can't you? I mean, Paul might be as genuinely, you know, completely, you know, innocent, heartbroken, of, you know, we just don't know, do we? We don't know. I don't know.
Cunningham will take to the witness box to talk about the much-loved 45-year-old mother, partner, sister and daughter, and how her disappearance turned their lives upside down. Paul made 6 frantic phone calls to her mobile in the space of 7 minutes.
Yeah. Just looking at, mind you, you can look at these for a long time, and I don't know if you'll ever get anywhere with them.
Which all went unanswered. He then sent a WhatsApp message saying, "Have you got lost?" When that too brought no response, he dialed 999 and drove to the scene from the couple's home in Inskip.
The family have now submitted through their barrister, Sophie Cartwright KC, that Dr. Adelaide records a verdict of accidental death when he returns at around 2:15 p.m. Proposing that Nicola, while trying to sort her dog Willow, who we've heard a lot about during this inquest, Willow described as a third child today to the family, they submit that when trying to sort her dog Willow, Nicola slipped into the River Wyre and would have drowned within seconds.
Finally, Nicola's family and friends had answers, though little comfort.
Something I just want to pick up on there that you asked, David, if Louise is still helping with the children. I don't know, it would be the answer to that. We don't know the ins and outs of the family dynamics, do we? But one thing I would like to say is that one of the people that have emailed me who went to see the house to buy, think, you know, they were thinking of buying it. They were told the owners don't want to sell until the 6th of June, you know, as if there was more than one person. But maybe that's just a way of talking. You know, would you say the owner or the owners? But anyway, they said the owners.
Nicola Bulley, mum, sister, daughter, partner and friend, was lost in a tragic accident. That much is clear now. But what of the actions of police, of the press and of social media? What happened here in Lancashire prompts many questions and includes critical lessons for the future.
Yeah, you had to get another little dig in on social media then as well. Nicola Adams, I think she's the editor of the Lancashire Live. So, what did we think of that video? Rubbish. I don't think it's a very good high-end buyers. I don't think it was a very good video, but there was a few interesting things in there. Like maybe the very first time that I've ever heard Peter Faulding actually mention anything about anything being found. He just said there were some trees. Didn't he? Made some comment and they had to be cleared. Just, you know, a few interesting nuggets that were in there. We forget after all this time, but it never mentioned. She was at pains to say, in fact, that Peter Faulding found nothing. So whether that was deliberate or whether she made this video before he declared that he did find something, who knows? Because, you know, it's just like everything else, we don't know, do we? But I know her sat on the bench. Sat on the bench. She went from by the side of the river where she looked like she was going to fall in, and then next minute she was sat on the bench. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, any opportunity to social media bash, they all use it, don't they? Oh. Jess says that reporter looks like an idiot sitting on the bench. I know, and they were moaning about people. They were moaning about TikTok ghouls going to the scene and sitting on the bench and taking selfies. She's done a whole bloody video or half a video from the bench. You know, the hypocrisy is breathtaking, isn't it, really? If I went to that bench, sat on the bench, took a selfie on the bench, I'd probably, you know, someone like that would say, oh, you know, YouTube ghoul taking a selfie on the bench. When I went there, I didn't sit on the bench, take a photo on the bench. I took footage of the bench, of course. You know, that's what I was there for. But she's literally sat on the bench doing her video and moaning about social media. Unbelievable. Oh, dear me. So, well, we don't know, do we, Ocean, what the Channel 5 documentary is going to be like with the unseen footage of Paul's interview. I hope actually they show some footage, more footage that maybe makes him seem more concerned. You know, it's possible that in that interview he did in the last one, that he did get upset, but they cut it out. But they should have left it in, because I think part of the reason why people are and were suspicious about Paul is his lack of emotion. So if what they did was cut out anything where he got emotional, then that probably wasn't a good idea, really. If they want people to support Paul, it'd be much better if they leave in the emotional bits, because people want to see him as a real person, not as someone who seems so unemotional. Do you know what I mean? It's like that was part of the reason why people feel sort of a bit sketchy about Paul, is because he didn't seem to show emotion. But I know, you know, that people are all different, so I can't make my mind up about Paul. I still can't, because there's nothing that I know. Everything, again, is speculation. I don't know him. I don't know them. I don't know what their relationship was. You know, I can get my feelings and how I feel about things, but I don't know. So anyway, yeah, they need, don't they, Jean? If he did get upset in that interview, which when I was watching it the other day, I was thinking that there was a couple of times where I thought, oh, maybe, because I could see that it'd been edited, and maybe he had got emotional there. But you know, of course he'd get emotional. People would be more sympathetic if he was emotional. It was because he wasn't emotional that people aren't sympathetic. Anyway. Okay, now I'm going now. I'm a very tired Vicky Marie. I'm glad I went through this video with you all, though. I like your input. You know, we don't always agree, I know, but I like to hear other people's point of view, and if I can see things in a different way from the way I see them, that's great, you know, because that gives me something else to think about. You know, another way of looking at things. It's important, it's good. We can all have our opinions, but we don't fall out, and that's brilliant. Yeah. So I will see you tomorrow. I'll definitely be back tomorrow. I'll be back several times probably tomorrow. I say several, maybe 3. Because yeah, I've got some videos that I want to make, some things that I want to talk about. So I'll be back tomorrow. And as always, thank you so much for being here with me. I really appreciate it more than you know. Don't forget to like, if you don't mind, on the way out. And if you've not subscribed, thank you to all you at home that are watching. There's 106 people watching at the moment. So thank you for that. And Manchester City won. So yes, Tina, Phil Foden's mum has been arrested for drunken disorderly. So I expect Phil will bail her out. He's got a few bob, hasn't he? But yeah, there's a video about, you know, it shows the body cam. Oh, the body cam was working there. The body cam that wasn't working when they went to see Nicola on the thing, but it was working when they arrested Phil Foden's mum for drunken disorderly. So I expect Phil will be there bailing her out as we speak. So, okay, night, night. Thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow. And until then, remember to live and love carefully, wisely, and may your God go with you. I hope you all have a good night's sleep. Night, night.